Hello and welcome to Nerdarchy. For nerds, by nerds, I'm Nerdicus Dave, and tonight I'm joined by these fine nerds. We're down a few. I believe they are celebrating a birthday, possibly, or not. Who knows? Could be anything. But we're going to be playing some Zoo Mafia Blood Moonshine. This is our third streamed campaign with Stephen Partridge as our illustrious zookeeper. Also, we have Carlos Rivera in the house and Nerdarcus Ted as well. We have links down in the description to go check those fine folks out. But in addition to that, you can find the link to the Zoo Mafia Kickstarter that is on, Kickstarter right now. You can get back and get your own copy of the Zoo Mafia book and also the nifty cool dice that we have as well. Go check it out. With that, I'm going to throw it to our zookeeper.
Hi, everybody. I'm Stephen Partridge, the zookeeper, and let me tell you, I am super stoked for this Kickstarter. So check it out. We love Kickstarters. We love Sirenscape. Sirenscape is what we use for our sound effects and music and whatnot. So if you hear the sound effects in the good way, that's Sirenscape. I like it for campaigns. That being said, we have 3 people. So I'm going to roll one of my wonderful Nerdarchy dice. This one's enemy die because I'm feeling antagonistic tonight. And we're going to see who's going to start us out with a recap. Okay, that's Dave. So have at it, sir.
All right. So we went to the carnival. And the idea was we wanted to go check in on Samson, who was our new pal that we recently met because he wandered out of the carnival that he actually belonged to. I don't think he actually belonged there per se, as much as he might have been a prisoner and escaped. And for whatever reason, he decided that the outside world was as bad, if not worse, than the carnival that he came from. So he went back. So we went back to check things out and see what this whole carnival thing was all about, and this mysterious amalgamation of the human world and the animal world, where animals are walking around dressed like people, doing kind of people things. And as zoo animals, we all know you're not supposed to do that, but they was a doing it. So we started exploring. Oh, by the way, I'm playing Flick. He looks like Dick Tracy if Dick Tracy was a sugar glider mobster, and my playbook is the Lookout. With that, I'm going to throw it to Nerdarcus Ted.
Hey everybody, I am playing Alejandro. He is a Jaguar button or hitman, call him whatever you will. He's the guy that pulls the trigger when something needs to be killed. What I remember about last session was we went into this like kind of mirror funny house, and some crazy antics happened, and we all got kidnapped. We all got, captured, if you will. I woke up on like some crazy wheel of death. Other people were in cages, and this monkey man Barnaby, I think his name was, apparently was the dude in charge, and he's been experimenting on animals. He says that we've got like the lesser version of whatever craziness is going around, because when we said that we come back to life at midnight, he's like, oh yeah, midnight, huh? So apparently he just can't be killed. We managed to break out of our locks, escape, if you will, and free Samson, the Sasquatch. And we are on the run with Barnaby in motion. Sadly, yours truly lost like the last 15 minutes of the episode as a power outage, struck my street and kicked me offline. So I had to kind of play catch up and what have you. But I believe like Barnaby is like right on me as we kind of ended. So that might be right. That might not be. I'll let Steven fill in the gaps once I throw it to Carlos.
What is good, internet? My name is Carlos Rivera. I run the Volcanic Night YouTube channel, and I am playing Carl, the courageous concrete chimpanzee up in here right now. I was in cosplay last time. It is way too cold to do doing that right now, so I am just in my very comfortable hoodie. With all that said and done, what I remember last time was I was captured and there was a lot of shenaniganery happening and whatnot. But my favorite part of it all was when I decided to go WWE on Flick to, and by that I mean hardcore scripted action. I don't know if it was said or not, but Robin's not here because it is their birthday. Happy birthday, Robin. And with that, I'm going to pass it over to Steven.
All right. So if you guys will indulge me, given everything that has transpired.
And I am wasting my good rolls. I am wasting my good rolls right now, damn it.
So we have a small narration. The carnival erupts into chaos as the freak show's tent ignites, black smoke billowing skyward. Orange and red flames lick upward by the second, casting stark colors among the ever-rising plumes and embers. This is madness. The smells of popcorn, sugar, and hay give way to stifling gray fog. If the firemen aren't quick to douse the flames, the park itself is in jeopardy, and with it, the Primrose City Zoo. Amid the panic, 5 creatures flee, unnoticed by the throngs of screaming parents carrying frightened children in all directions. That's when one of Alejandro's random, all-consuming visions grasps his attention, yanking it to some distant realm beyond reality's immediate perils. The rest of you, all slower than your loping jaguar companion, watch as the horror mounts, and he freezes. And behind you, a raging chimpanzee in a red suit bursts from the flaming tent. Fire licks off his costume, his top hat flying away entirely. He moves with a supernatural speed that creates a visual anomaly, like multiples of a single figure, all racing with uncanny, impossible speed toward your group. Each of you, by virtue of momentum, pass up Alejandro as Barnaby, the maniac chimpanzee, gains within seconds. Tendrils of foggy smoke trail his path, tracing it like jet stream behind him. He leaps for the frozen Alejandro, and a single gunshot rings through the night. And with it, fired by Jade in the frenzy, it's like time itself slows to a crawl in your awareness. Everything frozen like a snow globe depicting a perfect disaster. Alejandro, one moment, you're running on all fours, panting, nearly choking, as smoke starts filling the air. Even the briefest reprieve in Barnaby, the chimpanzee with those horrible red eyes, will overtake you. Despite your size advantage, he demonstrated a supernatural sort of strength combined with that dangerously brazen, flippant attitude toward being shot. If he catches you, you'll be dragged back into that tent, and who knows what he'll do. At best, it seemed you might end up melded with another creature into some bizarre facsimile of life. Just when you're ready to hit the tree line, you plummet into a never-ending and all-consuming darkness, triggered by what? You fall for ages, yet in a split second, you find yourself once again in a different time and place. Your suit gone, your hat is gone. The only clothing you wear is a robe of wine color, the color of blood, the color of the moon itself overhead. It is on either side of you, 2 jaguars, 1 male, 1 female. The 3 of you stand, members of a circle, with 9 more like yourselves, all attired in red robes, hoods drawn. Each of you stands atop a carved runic circle, carved in the dirt in a clearing in the jungle. You hold in your paws a clay bowl filled with pungent decoction, sweet, bitter, burning deep and familiar. Blood moonshine. Incomplete though it is, since the book vanished with the recipe, yet still the high priest insists this is your destiny. At the head of the circle, he bids you drink, after thanking the cat god for her blessing on this auspicious red moon night, thanking the innocents whose blood supplemented the ritual, offering the makeshift completion for your brew. I have one question for you, Alejandro. Do you drink?
I do.
And in so doing, that is the moment that your visions first started. That was when all of this began. And in another sweeping and almost like falling sensation, you find your attention peeled from the jungle and back into the immediate moment, the moment of danger. And at this point, Alejandro, I hand you the narrative as the first gunshot rings out and hits Barnaby. He flies backward, having been caught directly in the chest.
So, where am I in relation to the rest of my crew? Like, are we close knit? Are we scattered?
They're all just ahead of you. You can easily catch up with them because you're faster, because you're bigger.
So, I think panic sets in. Remembering more of my time in the jungle, or what have you. The typical fight or flight mechanism triggers. So I am not only looking to run, but run in a not opposite direction. I'm not going to run back towards this guy, but I'm going to run like left or right so that I spread out our group a little bit.
Okay.
Preferably heading towards a direction that provides some kind of, not so much cover, but breaking line of sight from Barnaby.
That makes perfect sense, especially with you being a predator and knowing how chase works. So,
real quick, may I interject something real quick?
Sure.
Ted, I don't remember if you were there or your power went out at this time. He jumped like ridiculous amounts, like Incredible Hulk like leaps.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got supernatural strength, supernatural speed. This thing is utterly insane. I got that part, but while he can do all of these things, if I can get to cover while he's being shot, then there might be a chance of us, of us getting away, or at least some of us getting.
So, as you do that, I would like for you to make a get out of a jam roll for me to see how well you do with that, please.
Wow. Jam. That is going to be an 8.
An 8. Okay. So that's a success with the consequence. So you're going to succeed, and I'm going to let you choose the consequence. Is the consequence going to be that he turns his attention away from you entirely and toward your other party members? Or is it going to be that your other party members take a cue, and so Samson and Jade both split off in other directions where you have no idea where they're going to be?
Oh, definitely the latter.
Okay.
I'd rather have him still chasing me and our party be split, because we're used to that happening in these games.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay. So as you continue running, you notice Barnaby is focused on you as the flying fox that shot him seems to have vanished from the air, probably diving into the trees somewhere. Samson lopes off in the opposite direction of you into the tree line and gets there relatively easily and quickly, given his size alone. So at this point, I need to ask, what is Flick doing?
Probably riding on Carl.
Okay. So Carl, what are you doing then?
Oh no. So inquiry.
Uh-huh.
This dude is chasing after Alejandro, right?
Yes.
I don't know if you're gonna enjoy what my plans were, Flick.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I was gonna pursue Chase to some extent. I'm gonna literally tell over to Jay, man, get out of here! As hopefully they make their escape, while me, Flick, and I'm chasing this this dude. I don't think
Carl. Does Carl know this guy can't be killed?
He knows, but he also knows you can be killed. So, because again, he doesn't believe in your. Oh, my blood comes back inside of me.
We all watched him get shot to death, so there's that.
We haven't. Carl,
Didn't you blow Jay's face off?
No.
Fine.
So
you guys were there, and he was not yet when that happened.
Oh.
So I don't know. So our situation is we're in a little go-kart thingy, right?
No, you're not in a golf cart. You're just running on foot.
Oh, well then, yeah, Flick, let's go, as we pursue after Alejandro and this I guess Scooby-Doo style ass chase.
Okay.
He got shot in the face and nothing happened. Maybe we need an alternative. Quicksand, tar pits. There's got to be something. Concrete.
I don't know. We'll find out, man, as we go around. I'm like swinging around. Yeah, that's what I'm getting across. I'm literally monkeying around my way over there. Anything that I can find to help me swing my way by. That's how I'm gonna pursue Chase.
Okay.
If I see a power line, well, like kind of like a telephone line, I'm gonna trying to make my way across the whole shebang.
Okay, yeah. So you actually jump up a power line and you are just like monkeying across it like it's nothing. And at this time, I'm gonna roll a d3 to see which one of these. I'm really glad I asked the question I did before, because that tells me who's here at the carnival and who's helping y'all out. So all of you see a scorpion, an emperor scorpion. And Dave, can you describe this character for us a little bit?
Oh. Yes, I can, absolutely. So he is dressed in regular cop uniform. He's like a beat cop, and complete with the old-timey hat and coat, and he's got his service revolver as well as his billy club, and other than that, he looks like an emperor scorpion, which is just a really big freaking scorpion.
Yep. And this guy begins firing multiple shots trying to help you guys out. and you can see that each shot hits Barnaby in one of several places. His arm is actually hanging at this point, his right arm, like almost not even fully attached, just with so much blown off of it. And you can see that already it's starting to come together and congeal. As the blood flies out of his body, still midair, it starts pulling back in again. So, Carl, you're now seeing this.
So instinctually, I think I will be like, I think at this point I would be like, oh, I don't think I'm close enough for a shotgun shot, am I?
You are close enough for a shotgun shot.
So it's like, oh Lord, instinctually, just blast one out.
Okay, so go ahead and bring the heat for me.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8 with a -1 forward that I got last game. So it's gonna be a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, 8, 7, 7, 7. My bad. I don't know why I'm derping right now.
Okay. All right. So you succeed with the consequence. So you can succeed, and I'm going to let you choose your consequence. Either he turns his attention to you at this point, or alternatively, we'll say that he gains on Alejandro as a result of your basically pushing him forward with this shot.
Bring it, dirtbag.
Okay. So you watch as this chimpanzee claws in the dirt as he's stopping himself from this ridiculous speed, turns around, looks dead at you, and he screams, "You want some of this?"
I literally turned to like I ain't think this through.
And at this point, we're also going to say that another individual from your contact lists who you guys didn't really know that they were working together, but apparently they are. You see a lynx, a female lynx, and she's wearing a, well, actually, you know what, Ted, why don't you describe her for us?
Crap, I don't have that sheet up. Give me 2 quick seconds.
So while you're doing that, Ted, Zookeeper, can you do me a favor and describe the scenery or what's around us?
Okay, so you have, at this point, you're going up on the tree line. You're kind of hanging from these power lines that Carl has basically been like monkey barring along, almost like they're vines in a jungle. And so you're hanging off of him from my best understanding. And you guys are seeing this overhead. And Barnaby has turned to you and is screaming because Carl just totally blew off a portion of his arm. And he's very furious about this. You can see that from where you guys ran, and it's just on the edge of the smoke that is continuing to roil thick, almost where you can't see. There's this Emperor Scorpion just firing shots, trying to give you some form of cover. He looks just as shocked about the blood thing as you are, Carl. However, the lynx does not look surprised at all. She looks unfazed by this. And so you see the lynx is actually waiting on the tree line. So you have basically the Emperor Scorpion and the lynx are on opposite sides, but they clearly make eye contact like they know each other and like they're doing something together.
All right, I'm not seeing my my listing, so I'm just gonna have to do the best I can from memory. So she's a little bit of a tomboy if she's out on the prowl, because like she definitely separates between, shall we say, party and play. So if she's coming here to party and enjoy the zoo, she would totally be just in, you know, a flapper dress and all of the you know, typical paraphernalia. But if she's here to do anything else, then she would be more in like slacks and an actual, pantsuit type of situation.
Okay. And so she has in her hands, in her paws, this black candle with a red flame. And she tosses it to you, Alejandro. Catch!
I'm going to try and catch it.
And then she pulls out a straight razor that she flicks open, and she makes a motion at her thumb like this.
So I'm supposed to cut myself and put blood on the candle?
And you can... let me see. I'm trying to think. Start spitting. See how good she is at communicating with you and how good you are at perceiving.
All right, so I'm not the best at this one. Oh, I don't like that at all. I'm just gonna spend a marker and ignore what's on these dice.
Okay. She wants you to cut the wick of the candle.
Oh, good thing you spent that marker. You almost cut off your thumb. It's like, I gotta cut off my thumb?
It's fine. I would have came back to him by midnight.
That's true.
All right, so I snipped the. I have a straight razor, so I'll pull it out and give it a quick snip.
Okay. When you cut the candle, there is this brief moment, almost like all of the shadows invert to light. In your perception, only you are seeing this. And the candle wick snips and the flame immediately goes out. And when that happens, the blood that was midair starting to come back into him just slops onto the ground. And he lets out this chimpanzee shriek that I am not even going to attempt.
You want me to try?
If you want, go for it.
That's not a shriek. But also, we don't need to blow out anyone's eardrums. For the love of God, someone might have earbuds or earphones on.
Rip earphone users.
Right. So you see that he seems like he's not healing anymore. And the scorpion lets off another shot. And this one lands and in his shoulder. And the arm falls off at this point. And it's not coming back. And he screeches and starts running with this half, like, he doesn't have one of his arms right now, and there's just blood coming out. And he's running toward that scorpion. So is anybody going to do anything before he reaches him?
So, how is Barnaby dressed again?
He's wearing a red suit, like a ringmaster's suit, basically.
All right, I'm going to regret this, but Carl, I need a hand. and I will jump onto Carl's hand and like just spread out like my arms and legs akimbo. Mm-hmm. All right, launch me at him.
Got it.
Okay.
Sounds like a wild roll to me.
Uh-huh. I think that constitutes a bop. Because you're trying to fly at him, right?
Yeah.
All right, go for it. Make that bop roll.
Alrighty. Oh, this is actually pretty good. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
That's great, but I meant for Dave to make it.
Well,
So
I
if he's-
launched.
If he's throwing, would that count as a break it up and give flick an assist?
I think I would say that, yes.
All right.
Yeah.
So you have a +1 forward for that.
All right. Well, here we go. I do have a 1 to wild, but dice do hate me. All right. That's an 8, so that's a success with consequences. But you know what? I think this is important. I'm just gonna spend a marker
Okay.
Because it also would have been doubles. We don't even need to look at that right now. I'm just
Okay.
gonna turn it into a success, and I want to land on his shoulder.
Okay.
And then what I want to do is I want to run
Well,
down.
hold on, wait. I thought I was so if it's a bop, then I have the ability. You got a boss, so you'll receive a +2, not a +1.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, so
That's still a 9.
Still a 9. So.
Uh,
But nice try. I want to run down the front of him.
Okay.
And then grab his shirt.
Okay.
And then run back up past his shoulder and down his back.
Okay.
So I pulled the hockey move where I pulled the shirt over his head.
Okay.
Is
You
what
can
I'm trying-
absolutely do that. And so he starts like flailing and flopping with one arm. He's like, "Ah! Ah!"
I'm charging.
And
I'm charging.
You're charging.
If
so you
he's-
jump down.
Yeah, if he's like literally hockey it up, I'm charging and just trying to
Okay.
lay it in.
So you land from the power lines and you just start going for him. Go ahead and give me a bop.
Alrighty. My dice are still hot. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
11. Okay, you absolutely succeed. So how much damage does he take?
That is an excellent question. How much is melee again?
1. Unless you have
Normally
something.
1, and I would say you probably have the ability that lets you do 2.
Okay, yeah. So I'm using my knife, and yeah, that's right. So I have the additional damage feature. So let's move to.
Okay, so you just describe for me what you do.
So there's a piece of his limb still dangling. I'm like, cut that off. I don't think you need that.
Okay,
You should-
and he screams.
Oh, man.
So Alejandro, you haven't done much. Are you
So,
trying to do something?
Do I see what's going on?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
All right. I like being crazy, so I kind of threw something in the chat and nobody really responded. So
Oh.
I want to go pick up his arm.
Okay. You can pick up his arm.
All right. I want to like, how far away is the arm from him?
Not very.
So it's certainly macabre, but in this game, I don't know what else to do. So I'll take a shot at him if if it didn't take my action to pick up the arm.
Sure. You can do that.
All right.
Bring the heat.
Bring the heat back.
Shoot him with a shotgun or pistol. or-
I mean, I imagine I'm not going to be able to wield my machine gun and a chimpanzee arm, so
Fair.
I'll just take out,
What in your coat
take out
pocket?
take out my pistols, or my pistol, and that is going to be an 8 with triples.
Wow.
Oh. Okay. So with triples, that is going to be
Give a marker away.
give one of your markers to another player.
Well, I know how Dave is with dice, so I'm going to give one to you.
Okay.
Nice. And besides, Carlos is leaving us soon anyway. Well, he'll
Yeah.
be back, folks. Don't worry.
Yes, I'll be back.
So okay.
He's got to go get married or some nonsense like that.
Right.
I want you to describe for me what you do to him. Is he dead?
So, I mean, he's not going to stay dead. I imagine I hit him in the legs. Going for, one of those, bigger leg arteries.
Kneecap him.
Sure, I'll go for a kneecap. And when I shoot, I do an extra damage, so it's 2 if it makes a difference here.
So are you doing lethal damage?
Sure.
Okay. So you kneecap him, and he has this blood like coming from his mouth and everything right now, and his eyes are now like just enveloped in red. Like they're fully red at this point. And he looks at you and he's like, Where'd you find that candle? And he falls over and he's dead. And he is not recovering.
Well, I'm still holding on to this arm until such time as midnight and it's not being pulled back towards this guy.
So, did you light the candle or you just cut the wick?
I cut the wick.
He cut the wick and the candle snuffed. And Mina walks up. Good job. I wasn't sure you were going to figure it out.
Oh, there's a lot going on. What is this candle?
Oh, that one's his. And she kind of leans on you, like, you know, almost using you like a leaning post. And she points at you and she's like, this one, not too bright all the time, but sometimes he's good.
Nina, this is Carl. This is Flick. Carl, Flick. This is me.
Timely entry there, miss.
Almost like I'm not even saying hi to her just yet. What happens is like I immediately go to this dude's body and be like, as I said before, buddy, finders keepers, losers weepers. As I pull the book out of his jacket that he was so protective about, you know.
He doesn't have the book. He has the page.
The page.
The page that you found. So you take the page back. The Emperor Scorpion walks up. What was all that? I just didn't. You were right. And then Mina's like, of course I was.
It's good to see you again. It's been a while.
Flick.
So I will holster the pistol, put the arm over my shoulder like, I'm carrying a sack. Evening, officer.
Oh, evening to you too. And he kind of like remembers and straightens up a little bit and like, you know, the claws clack and everything. And then looks at Flick and he's like, how'd you get tangled up in all this, huh?
Wrong place, wrong time. You know the story of my life.
You weren't one of that crazy's next victims, were you?
Well, funny story
Right.
there.
Actually.
I think he said something about trying to sew me to Carl's ass or something. It sounded unpleasant, whatever it was.
That sounds terrible.
Sounded convenient to
Alejandro's gonna
me.
do-
Double the
So
bullets,
Alejandro's
double
gonna
the
do
foods, right?
So I'm gonna do like the shifty eyes back and forth between Flick and this police officer and be like, so you two know each other?
Oh, yeah. Flick here, you know, he scratches my carapace and I scratch his.
Well, except for I don't have a carapace. But you know how it is.
We don't have to. We're firing guns and what have you. We don't have to. We're not under arrest.
And he pulls out a flask, takes a swig, and he's like, nah, you're good.
Looks like then I'll tip my hat again.
And he nods and then looks over at Mina. Yo, hoodoo, voodoo, schmoodoo stuff worked. How is that? And she's like, oh, you can ask them. They have something too, I'm sure.
It is.
I don't think we have any candles.
It's
Oh,
rather
I'm sure you do
complicated,
somewhere.
And I would think standing in the middle of a burning circus is not the best place to divulge information.
She kind of looks around. She's like, you know, you're right. This smoke, if you're going to have smoke in the vicinity, at least make it in a speakeasy, right? This one, And she looks at you and she's like, you haven't taken me to a speakeasy in a while.
We could certainly do that. I don't know how much they're gonna like this one's attire. He's up for a change. Perhaps we can take you to a place.
I like that idea. You know, I haven't been to the Blind Pig yet, Carlo Hambino's place, and since I saved your bacon and all, and she just like does this little like finger walk along your shoulder.
Oh, let's get ourselves cleaned up and grab a drink.
Oh, I would love a drink. Thank you for offering. And she just kind of like pulls back a little bit, and she's clearly like trying to like ham up that like she's clearly forcing you, but also like wants you to like kind of play back kind of thing. You know, she's very much like this.
Well, since we're buying drinks, I guess I owe you one pinch. So let's go do the thing.
I like that idea. You got a place in mind, or we go into the pig place?
We can go to the pig place. How's the wife and kids?
Oh, they're good. Little Stefan, he just did his first sting. It was real impressive. Very deadly for that pigeon. Had a little cleanup to do.
Chip right off the old block there.
Yeah. Hey, how's Franny doing? Y'all doing good?
My face just kind of drops when he says that. That's in the past. That's been a while.
I'm
She's
sorry,
running with
I
some
didn't
fancy
know.
schmancy tiger now.
Really?
Fernando.
You know, ever since the thing, you know, things were never right between us.
Well, I knew you took it hard, and I knew she took it hard too. I didn't ever imagine the two of you would. Gosh, really?
Well, you never know until you're tested. And I guess
failed. I mean, Franny always was the type to like the finer things, right? And folks like you and me, we're very street level.
For sure.
But let's go and get this get the witchy lady some libations.
Yeah, maybe drop your hat and coat in the car before we go in the cart.
Literally, while all that lovemaking was happening and whatnot, what happens is like Carl is specifically keeping a distance, just keeping an eye on everybody, since he's kind of in with Al Capone, just kind of like,
Yeah.
see what's happening over here, just observing the situation, learning as much as he can.
Right. When you mentioned Flick that he should get rid of his hat and such, he kind of looks over at Carl and he's like, what about the monkey mook? I mean, I don't think that the pig would take too kindly to having one of Al Capone's men just openly and brazenly walking through the front door, if you know what I mean.
I'm not on bad terms with Carl Hambino.
All right. Your funeral, I guess. And he puts his he takes off his hat and he's like, I'll meet you over there. He kind of skitters away, and the minx or the lynx Mina, lynx Mina. Blah, I can speak. I just don't act like it. She's not a minx. She's not a rodent, or whatever. A minx is weasel, maybe. She's a lynx. Her name's Mina. She looks at all of you and she's like, he's so over dramatic. Like, don't worry about him. Carlo Hambino's a businessman. I should know. And she looks knowingly at Alejandro, and she's like, shouldn't I?
I just give her a look. Really just want to be blatant about certain things.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, dear. Um, your friends all seem very nice, and I don't know. Maybe we can, you know, introduce each other to our friends later.
Flick like looks
I
back and
understand
forth between her and Alejandro carrying the chimpanzee's arm. Nice. That's a word I guess you could use to describe a group of people.
Yeah, you seem nice. I mean, if that crazy wanted to get a hold of you, then you're probably nicer than him.
Yeah. Oh shoot.
Sure. Definitely nicer than Barnaby.
You think Samson and Jasper Jade are still running?
I imagine they would have gotten out of the danger area, considering all that's happened with Jade recently. I imagine they would have gone to ground. Samson, on the other hand, seems nice enough, but I don't think he's very wealthy. I think he would have a lot harder time hiding, and not the knowledge of know where to go or what to do. I think it might be prudent to take a look around first, see if we might be able to spot him.
Yeah. So I want to put my peepers to work and see if I can find any sign of Samson.
Sure. Go ahead and do that.
Alrighty. Well, it's a good roll, but there might be some downsides to it. All right. So put my peepers to work. That gives me an 11.
An
With
11.
Doubles and machine gun auto is showing.
Oh, so doubles with the enemy boss, but success. So you get a -1 forward.
All right.
And you succeed. And I'm going to let you choose if you want to take your -1 forward or if you want a different consequence to intervene, which would be that you can notice Samson talking to someone who you might not want him talking to.
Fuck yeah, let's do that.
Okay. So you see Samson, and he's escaped. He is actually out in the main parkway, and you see a couple of wolves and a trio of beavers approach him and start talking with him. They hand him a flask, and he starts laughing and walks away with them.
And they all work for Machine Gun Auto, right?
Yes, they do.
Well, it doesn't look like he went against his will, but on the other hand, he just doesn't know about things. Do we keep our drinking engagement, or do we follow along and make sure he's okay?
I'm certain he'll be okay. It's whether or not they take advantage of him and use him to their advantage.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody should use him to their advantage, it should be us, right?
I don't think that's the right way of looking at things. I think, someone should educate him and allow him to make the choices that he wants to make.
For us. I mean, you're either part of the family or you're not.
Well, there are those that like to stay neutral.
Well, at the end of the day, everyone has to decide. Even if you don't make a choice, you've made a choice.
This is true. He just seems, I hate to say it, but seems a little too simple to be trying to get mixed up in all of this.
So do we get a drink, or do we leave him to the wolves, or do we not leave him to the
Literally.
wolves and go grab us some beaver and while we're at it? Because
What do you think?
I think we feel like we still owe those guys.
Is Mina still here?
Mina is still here. And
Does she?
she's just listening very intently, her eyes kind of widening and narrowing with the context.
So, am I able to get a read on her to see, see if her eyes are leaning in any particular direction?
Okay, sure. Put your peepers to work or start spitting, your choice.
I will put my peepers to work.
Okay.
What the flip, man? My dice are just crap tonight. That is going to be a 3 with doubles.
No.
A 3 with doubles. So that is a failure. So you get +1 XP and you get a -1 forward. And what you it's really hard to tell with Mina because she plays so many games. She is herself a highly superstitious person. She adheres to a lot, like very sincerely, almost religiously, to a lot of like very Lynx culture superstitions, right?
Sure.
Very cat culture superstitions. But she also, at the same time, she's always very insightful. And so it's a really hard read on what exactly is going on. And just to make it a little bit harder, she suddenly turns her attention to the chimpanzee and she's like, I saw you got a page of the book.
My book.
Oh, is it your book?
Yeah, it's the law of the land. Finders keepers, right?
Oh, well, this isn't yours. And she waves another page.
Did you?
All right. So, I don't know if any of you actually ran into Samson, but he's a massive Sasquatch. Might not be a good idea to have that much muscle working for the otter. Should we go rescue him and allow him to kind of make his own choice?
There's something else too. They freaking shot him. I guess he doesn't realize because there's so much commotion going on. But they were the ones doing the shooting.
That is true. He doesn't seem to like guns. The sound is too much for him.
I mean, I can't help but to agree with Alejandro. I mean, like, best case scenario, he's using Samson to move some furniture. Worst case scenario, we might get moved out of the zoo.
So Mina just sort of like looks to the three of you and says, you can owe me a drink later. It's fine. I'll meet your scorpion friend and tell him.
Much obliged.
And then she very intentionally and pointedly grabs you by your suspenders, pulls you close, and says, and you will owe me that drink.
Oh, worry not.
And then she just kind of like lets go, lets him snap, and she's like, good. And she kind of like saunters away.
Hey, thanks for letting Pinch know. Appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. You'll owe me a drink too.
Yeah,
And
you always end up paying one way
So-
or another.
As soon as I'm fairly certain that Mina's out of earshot, I'll kind of whisper down to the others that one is trouble.
in fact, she proves that because as she's going just a little bit, she's clearly playing, like, she's playing Alejandro, but she acts like she's going to snatch that piece of paper away from the chimpanzee and just kind of like bats at it a little bit, cat style. Like, Just like she's trying to take it, but not really.
Like every time it's like, as he shoves it into his pocket, like just keeping an eye on her. But yeah, I snapped my own suspenders. I think we should get cracking.
Yeah, I really don't want to leave Samson with them for long.
Take him
So
out.
All right, so
you guys are going to follow up where Otto's people tend to be.
I guess we're gonna
what-
try and follow them, catch up to them, and
Okay.
try to
Yeah, I'm gonna
be
try and-
unobtrusive.
All right. Give me a put your peepers to work. Let's see how well you can do at following them.
Alrighty.
is that a group thing or just a flick thing?
I will say that whichever one of you has the best score can do it. And if one of you wants to assist, go for it and break it up.
It's definitely going to be him. How good is your awareness, Carl?
Well, I don't have any negatives. That's what I can say.
I'll give a roll and see if I can give you an assist there, sir.
Alright.
He doesn't have the -1 forward because you got this instead.
I eked out a 7.
Okay.
Uh,
That'll give him a +1 forward. So,
Okay. So I rolled a 1, 2, 3, giving me
okay.
a 4 on my dice plus 3, 7. That's an 8. So success with consequences.
Okay. So the success is that you succeed at following them. The consequence can be your choice again. Either they get away from you, and once they're in their kind of like primary location, so you have like an area of the zoo you know where they're at, but you're not entirely sure. Or alternatively, we can say that you get spotted by one of Otto's guys.
I think spotted is better, but
Yeah,
I
I'm gonna
think
go
it's
with.
mixed
I would
call
say
there.
go with spotted.
Okay. So, you follow them to the aquarium. And you know that this is where a lot of Machine Gun Otto's beaver buttons operate from. He also has some loan sharks that operate out of here. And you know that he is currently allies with a notable member of the aquarium himself, which is a old creepy Alvin Carapace, who is a lobster mobster with his own operation going on.
Steven, can I just say one thing to you?
Yeah.
Fuck you, buddy. Fuck you.
But it is not a lobster that notices you, nor is it one of the beaver buttons. It is, in fact, someone who's affiliated with Mother Barker's pack. Someone who you would know is officially technically dating one of Mother Barker's many, many children. A banker, a coyote banker, whom you've had past interactions with.
Uh-huh. Man, you just threw out so many names.
Mm-hmm.
So Dave, are you mad at Lobster Mobster or Beaver Barker or the Lone Sharks?
Yes, just yes. All of it. There's a
I
special
love
place.
punishing my players.
There's a special place in hell for you, Steven. Oh,
See, I'm over here smiling so big because it's amazing.
so what was our lobster's name?
Old creepy Alvin Carapace.
Oh, creepy Alvin Carapace.
Yep. He's in league with Mother Barker, who has Mother Barker's pack, which is a bunch of her kids that are wolves. They're known to be friends.
All right.
And so Nick Carnivore, the coyote from Goatsby's party, sees you, and upon seeing that you see him seeing you, darts around one of the aquarium tanks. Deeper inside, you see the aquarium itself is a labyrinth of fish tanks and aquatic glass enclosures, such that there are entire cities built underwater, and they are hidden in plain sight. It's brilliant, hidden among the coral, the anemones, all these different things. You see several of the loan sharks swimming from place to place, doing their business with their little hats on and their machine guns kind of under their fins that specifically accommodate fins for firing.
Sure.
And you see that the coyote ducks around one of the fish tanks and seems to be going into the labyrinth in a different direction from where they took your beloved Sasquatch friend. They took him to the left, Nick went to the right.
Oh, I say we go to the left, but I'm gonna deposit the arm in with the sharks.
Okay.
And that's
So-
how you get crazy mutated sharks, dog.
Getting chummy with the
whatever.
loan sharks, huh?
So you see this this shark kind of surfaces, and he has this unique marking that gives him almost like a pencil mustache effect. And he comes up and he's like, "Hey, what's it to you?"
I was making a deposit, but
Ah,
you guys might be hungry.
thank you. Haven't had and he looks kind of at your chimpanzee friend. Haven't had chimp in a while. This ain't one of your friends, is it?
Definitely not a friend.
Yeah. I would say to the guy, like, bon appetit.
And he nods, much obliged. And he kind of like tips his hat with his fin. And just takes it off and circles around like a whip around one of the coral reef sections of the enclosure.
Wow. Man.
All right, off following the Sasquatch.
Okay, so you follow where they take the Sasquatch, and they take him into what you know to be the aquarium opera house. This is where the dolphins and the orcas and many of the singing individuals have their stage for performance. And all the different aquariums are kind of set up around this big central one that connects to the others, so that basically any of these enclosures can be connected to one another. And this is like the central one, and it is a big deal. And it accommodates even those who want to come in from outside the aquarium to enjoy the operatic entertainment, as it were. It is kind of a maze even in here among all of these different areas, because there's seating for humans for the dolphin show and whatnot, though you use it for opera. But one of the most noteworthy things about it is that this place is crawling with beaver buttons, just waddling with their machine guns, looking around back and forth.
I think we're going to need a distraction. Make
Get
this
off more than we can chew
extraction.
here. Got any suggestions?
Well, could blow one of the tanks out there. Maybe.
Got dynamite?
I'm sure we could shoot it out, right?
Awfully loud.
Would be awfully loud.
Hey, Alejandro, you still got that candle? Huh. Maybe we can use something. Is there like a kitchen, kitchery or any sort of cafeteria in the area?
Yeah, we'll say there's a concession stand.
I'm thinking maybe we could light that candle and then take it to somewhere explosive. Worst comes to worst.
So I will tell you that just because virtue of the way that our game works, we go week to week, but this has happened in just a few days. You recall similar candles when you guys first woke up. And if you were to mess with them, they didn't interact as flame in the same way that fire does.
Okay.
So if you were trying to light something on fire with that, it probably wouldn't work that way.
You know what? Maybe we just take a rag in the kitchen area, little sparky action. You know what I'm saying?
I have an idea.
You want to light a fire in the aquarium.
Listen, I didn't say it was the smartest move. It is. We just need a temporary distraction. It doesn't have to be a long distraction.
Okay. So, are you sneaking off to look for this by yourself, or are you kind of pulling your companions with you, or how are you doing this?
So, all right, hear me out. They have to oxygenate the water in the tanks, which means there's oxygen tanks in there someplace. So we may not have dynamite, but we could make something explode. We can open up some of those tanks and ignite it.
What if we're messing with tanks, why don't we just start emptying the tanks? Let the water go all over the place.
Well, yeah, but then you're gonna have to go in and find the plug and figure. I don't know how that works, but I sure the hell doesn't know how to set something on fire. We just cut the lines, let the oxygen out. Very flammable. We'll have a good old-fashioned fish fry. And then, think about it. There'll be a lot of customers without loan sharks. But, what if instead we offered them up lone owls?
This might work.
Could certainly work.
Literally almost the entire time, Carl was like kind of like incredulous, but the moment he said lone owls, he's like, you know what? I like this too.
Either that, or can anyone of you sing high enough to crack the glass?
That's not gonna be me.
Yeah. I ain't got much of a singing voice either.
Where's Jasper J when you need him?
For real. Although, I guess we do gotta be careful when we're creating our distraction not to harm Samson inadvertently.
I think he's a tough nut, but you're right.
He's got a lot of fur. Fur is also flammable.
All right, so how do we locate said oxygen tank there, Mr. Zookeeper?
Are you going to locate it together or separately? If you try to locate it separately, you have 3 chances. If you try to locate it together, you can break it up with one of you and give the other one a +1 forward.
I think in this instance, we need to know what we're all doing so that we don't inadvertently blow each other up.
I'll
That works for me.
It's like, no.
All right, so you had said that you're not good on awareness there, Carl?
Well, I'm not good, but I ain't bad neither.
All right, well, since you offer a +2, do you want to give this a go? Considering my dice have been mean to me tonight. Pretty much, my neutral die hasn't rolled above a 3 all night.
I mean, I'm fine with that.
Well, my awareness is a 0, but if you're really Struggling, my
My
guy.
my awareness is +1, and I'm sitting with a -1 forward, so it would even out. So if I rolled well, I give a +1. If you roll well, you give a +2. Let's give you the shot.
All right, yeah, let's roll them bones then.
Okay.
Break it up.
5, 6, 7.
7. All right. So you find the oxygen tanks. Are all three of you together for this?
We are together. So he's rolling to break it up.
Break it
the
up.
bonus.
Oh, okay. So he's given somebody a bonus.
Yeah. So I'm gonna roll.
Yes.
I got a 9 on the die with a +3, +2. So that's a 14.
A 14. That's a critical success, I believe.
It is.
Any doubles or no?
No.
Okay. So you got a critical success, which means as you were going into this back room area, right? At first, you thought it was clear and you stop because your infamous sugar glider nose catches a whiff of something. Cologne. And you see Nick Carnivore walking with Otto himself, just talking, explaining what he saw, and explaining how this yellow-coated sugar glider had the nerve to threaten him. And Otto responds with, so you do want me to do something about it then? You know, a favor for a favor. Banker and all that. And Nick kind of like, I'm not going to say I approve of your methods, but yeah, I need this done. And they walk on if you let them. And then you go in the door. And not only do you find the area where they oxygenate the water with these massive machines loaded with tanks, but you also see piles of peanuts, paintings. You see chests, drawers, just free piles of peanuts as well, but there's chests of valuables. You see casks piled high in this area. Casks of booze, bootlegs. You see a couple of golf carts in here. This is one of Otto's main stashes, it looks like.
So, and they had just left, right?
They
And
just left.
Alejandro, you have a straight razor?
Yeah.
Was Otto smoking his cigar as he usually
He
does?
was.
Alejandro, cut the lines. You got a plan.
So, unless you got a use for Carl, I say have Carl load up one of these carts with some stuff, and we'll take the cart out of here, and we'll take some profit on the way.
Wow.
After all, if it's going to blow up here, it'd just be a shame to see it go all to waste.
Well, grab what you can, Carl, because we're gonna move fast. Start
I am
cutting.
stuffing my vest, man. Like, I am stuffing my vest to the gills.
Load the chests onto a golf cart.
Oh,
We're going to hop in the golf cart.
For certain, yeah, but before I do that, 2 hands in my pocket as I would carry the chest.
Sure. Peanuts rattle as they scatter on the ground with just how big your handfuls are compared to your pockets. They can't help but spill out. What do you load up?
The contents, the little chest thing, you know.
There's the chest of jewels and the chest of peanuts, I think, should be the go-to.
Okay. All right. So you load up 2 chests. Any casks or no?
I don't know how long it takes for me to cut the lines, but once the lines are cut, I'll grab some of the casks.
Okay.
So as they do that, I dart out the door after Machine Gun Otto and Nick.
Okay.
And I yell, "Machine gun auto, you freaking chump!"
Oh!
Pushing the cart.
Come get some, you pathetic weakling. Hanging out with Nick Carnivore, and then I dart back towards the cart.
Okay, he turns. I want you to get out of a jam as he turns upon hearing that and just starts firing in the direction. Because he's a trigger happy fiend.
Oh, that's definitely something he would do.
Mm-hmm.
Alejandro, I think that was the signal. I'm not too sure, but I think that was the signal.
So I have a 7.
Okay. So he's like, what? And starts firing like a madman, just all over the place as much as he can. And I'm going to give you a choice for your consequence. Your consequence is either he catches you with the machine gun for 3 points of damage, or alternatively, you can get away and you're going to be stuck in that room when he gets there.
No, I'm going to take the damage.
Okay. So 3 bullet holes just rat-a-tat-tat in your flap, your wing flap. As you duck in, you guys see red sort of like pulsing underneath his sleeve at this point.
So
Time to go, boys.
I've got the cart, already on, and I'm just waiting for him to, catch up before we start peeling out of there.
Okay. Yep. All right. So you guys are getting away, and he's going to run in. We all know what's happening from here. As you guys load up on that cart, and you're going to start driving. Get out of a jam for me. Who's doing it?
You don't want me to do that, guys.
That's
Oh, wait a minute. Actually, let me see something. Let me double check.
I have a 0 for Moxie.
Okay. When I get out of the jam, I can use awareness instead of Moxie.
All right, well,
okay.
Well, go for it, Dave.
Go for it.
Which I should have did that last time, but whatever. All right. Okay. All right. That's a 10.
A 10.
Clean 10.
Okay. So you guys burst out of this room on the golf cart. It's revving, it's whirling, and you see the otter runs inside, his eyes wide, seeing this cart loaded up. What the hell? No! And all of a sudden, he runs into the room, and this massive explosion happens. And the aquarium has caught fire, in fact. So the aquarium is now aflame. You see Machine Gun Otto, because he just barely got in, he got blown back. So he's burned, but he's like alive. And he's like almost cartoonishly like singed with like a little bit of fire on his hat. And he takes the hat and he crumples it up and snuffs the fire. He's like, "Get them!" and starts firing his machine gun. And you start hearing other carts now revving and getting ready to drive off. So what I need, this is going to be a complex test, we'll say that. So I'm going to need each of you to roll Get Out of a Jam for me.
Okay.
So we're going to start there.
Oh, thank freaking Jesus, man. Yes. 12 double sixes, ally boss and neutral boss showing.
Okay. Ally boss,
Yes.
neutral boss. Okay, man.
No, I have a zip on Moxie, so I just need it. I was just hoping for something good. Not this good, dog. Like, damn.
So you got a critical success, you gain a marker, and you also get everyone gets a +1 forward, which I'll let apply to this roll actually.
Well, if you're going to allow it to apply to this roll, I walk out of there with a solid 10.
Hey! So, Carl, you start us out, and then Alejandro, you'll go. What are you doing to get out of this jam, and how are you assisting in whoever's driving? Who is driving, by the way?
Flick.
Yeah, I am.
Flick is driving.
Oh, Flick?
I want Flick to drive. He's a tiny man. Like,
I'm like akimbo on the wheel, steering my whole body, and Alejandro is working the pedals for me.
Okay.
Whenever he has to make a hard turn, he just lets it go on one side and let gravity do his business.
So, what are you doing to assist with this?
What I'm going to be doing is giving him cover fire.
Okay, so you're providing cover fire as these beaver buttons that are hanging, like, not nearly as skillfully as your chimpanzee compatriots, but still kind of hanging off the edge, firing these machine guns haphazardly. And I'm going to see Dave, pick evens or odds.
Odds. I'm in an odd mood.
Okay. Well, not only did I roll evens, but I rolled the boss. So we're gonna say that one of his gangster friends shows up. Oh, this is perfect. All right. Yeah, that's perfect. So you guys are getting away, and as Carl is offering cover fire, more fire comes from an offshoot as this other golf cart screeches around the side, and you see a giant, like freaking huge horse driving this cart, and a tiny rabbit firing the machine gun wildly. She's wearing this skirt that's just flapping in the breeze. She's going, ah! And this is Bunny and Clydesdale, and they are chasing after you guys right now, in addition to the beaver buttons. So,
Carl, what kind of weapon are you using?
I have a shot-off shotgun and a knife.
Well, if you're going to be laying down some cover fire while the two of us are driving, I'm going to have to loan you Big Bessie.
Wow.
oh,
Well, I was thinking about making a jump, if you know what I mean.
Oh, well, I wouldn't recommend it, but if you do, you leave Big Bessie behind.
I have a +1 forward. I'm hoping I can make this.
okay. So
my attempt is
Yeah.
to yeet myself while, velocity is doing its thing to kind of like lead myself forward to the next car directly behind us and literally start wailing on the driver.
okay, sure, make a bop for me.
Alrighty. I think I got this. I'm gonna spend the marker.
Okay, spend that marker.
Because I thought I had it. But, so, anyway. I go in. It's gonna be 2 points.
Okay, it's actually 1 point, as he takes it directly on the chin.
Wow.
And that's when you realize this guy's a goon too.
Finally, a worthy challenge. Our fight will be legendary.
And he's like, oh, brother, that was a mistake. I just want you to know that right now.
So, who is he squaring off against, or what is he squaring off against?
He's
Clydesdale.
spurring off on Clydesdale.
Oh, okay.
And it is going to be, Alejandro, you succeeded as well. So you tell me how you're helping to break it up.
All right. Well, if he's jumping off and he's going to start, messing things up, then because all I've got to do is handle the foot pedals. That leaves my hands free. So I'll pull out Big Bessie and I'll start, just laying into the buttons that are out there.
Okay, this is a machine gun, right?
Yes.
Okay, so go ahead and bring the heat for me as well. And I'm going to say, because you already succeeded, and this is kind of like an extension of your success, you're going to get a forward for it.
Oh, sweet.
But you can convert into damage if you want, you know, because they all have 1 hit point, so
yes.
just be more.
Absolutely. So that is going to be 10. So
10.
Converting damage, that's going to be 5 damage.
Okay, so you take out 5 beavers, and you see this one cart just crashes into a wall and explodes into fire. And there's just more fire now in the aquarium. You guys are breaking rules, by the way, but hopefully the capuchin cleanup crew can take care of this. We'll see. There's only so many of them. Now, way back when I called for that get out of a jam, what did you get, Flick?
I got a 10.
A 10. So you tell me, how are you breaking this up?
By driving. I'm zigging, I'm zagging. You know, like I kind of make feints, like I'm going to slam into the car, other golf cart. You know, hit the brakes, stuff like that to try and mess them up.
Yeah.
No,
okay.
I'm not hitting the brakes, Alejandro is.
So you are swerving and you are screeching and you're rounding that corner, like that big central area that I described. You're just doing donuts around it at this point. So go ahead and I'm trying to think, maybe get out of a jam again to see what you're doing for like how much you succeed basically with who all you do damage to. Because this is a driving thing.
All right, it's 10 again.
10 again. So we'll say that you can also convert to damage to get rid of a second cart of beaver buttons, or you can make Bunny and Clydesdale crash. Your choice.
I will make Bunny and Clydesdale crash.
Okay. So the cart you're on crashes in another explosion of fire as these 2 petting zoo bank robbers have crashed with a Carl on board. So let's see. Carl, get out of a jam. See if you can escape without much damage.
Oh, we'll see. Oh no! I'm gonna have to spend another marker. This seems necessary.
Oh.
This seems necessary.
Okay.
So if you're spending a marker when Flick just kind of like smashes into the other golf cart, I think Carl just kind of like steps over to ours as the cart kind of like crashes into a wall and flips over, and we kind of jet out of into the next room.
Sure. I'll let that happen. And as you do that, it just so happens that on you feel like this tug on your back.
So I'm like, as I'm getting pulled over, I yell over to Bonnie and Clydesdale. Yeah, who's messing with who now?
And as you yell that, you realize, well, you yelled it at Clydesdale. Where's Oh, shoot. And you hear from behind you, ah! As just more gunfire. And you have a bunny riding on your shoulders right now, wielding a machine gun, just firing it in the air.
Oh, I'm gonna suplex him. Suplex.
Okay.
We're gonna take her to Suplex City.
All right, make that bop roll.
All right. Whoa, nutty. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
11. So she
right off the cart.
So she points her gun at your head and she's like, "Are you feeling lucky?" And then you suplex her and she just tumbles off the edge. She's like, "Ow! But I had the rabbit's foot."
Any chance she dropped her gun in our cart?
Evens or odds?
Evens.
Yeah.
It landed on the corner. It's even. So there you go. You got a gun. And it is a machine gun. It is a very nice
Oh.
machine gun.
Nice.
And you guys
You're welcome, Carlos.
crash
Thank you, man.
in a fiery explosion befitting a movie. You just crash through these aquarium doors with this explosion following you, trailing behind you. Smoke is billowing. You can once again start to hear this this sound effect. I said sound effect. It's because I'm looking for my sound effect. Don't pay attention to me. I know what I'm doing. I just don't act like it.
Pay attention to the man behind the curtain.
Exactly. Now you understand. So you do hear a siren wailing. I am not really. I have too many sound effects here as it is. So you just hear the sound. You hear the siren wailing. It's a whole to do. The sirens are wailing in the distance because of the smoke billowing from the aquarium and flames pouring out. You see people in the streets are gathering, and you're like trying to dodge and screech to avoid them. There is a reporter taking pictures. There are all sorts of civilians here, and it seems like people were just chilling out, and there was maybe going to be a show or something tonight. Who knows? And now it's chaos. So, you guys make it safely back to, where are you going? Flick, you're driving.
Back to the zoo.
You're in the zoo. The aquarium is part of the zoo.
Oh.
Where are you going in the zoo?
To this part that's not on fire.
Okay. Are you going to your area, to Alejandro's area, or to the Monkey Islands, or somewhere else?
So, we still didn't get Samson out.
Nope. You set fire to the place instead.
I think we need to grab a drink.
Well, we need a place to stash this stuff.
Yeah,
before
we
go get a
do.
drink.
We do need a place to stash it. Let's go check on Jasper Jade and see if they're back at their enclosure.
Okay.
If not, we can hide our stuff there.
Okay. So you guys drive this cart through the zoo. Somebody give me one more get out of a jam.
Sure.
Just to see if the last cart of beavers manages to follow or not.
Oh my god. That is an 11 on the die, so
Nice.
14.
So yeah, you guys get away from the beavers. They have lost you. You tore through the main thoroughfare, and while a bunch of civilians saw you, doesn't seem that Otto's men were able to follow you in the process.
Dave, instead of going to pack some plug, man, you should go to Vegas.
And
I'm not so sure about that. My dice are fickle. They
you
were
guys
all bad rolls last week.
You guys make it to Jade's enclosure, Jasper's enclosure, the Bat House. You go to the area where Jasper Jade normally lives, hangs out, and you see a note on the door. So it seems to be written in code. Anyone who wants to can put their peepers to work, start spitting, or I will also allow get out of a jam, weirdly enough.
It's funny because like I can use intimidation for to start spitting. I'm gonna angrily look at the note until it decodes itself.
Sure.
I rolled Moxie. I got a 10.
10. So not only have you managed to decode that Jasper Jade is hiding because of the acronym of the words, but you also manage to ascertain that they have taken their two sisters to the petting zoo to hide. So it seems that whatever's happened affected Jasper enough he wanted to hide. It's kind of been very intense. And then the whole getting captured thing must have You don't know. You don't know. But that's what you could think, I guess. I don't know. Think what you want. Maybe you're thinking something different. You tell me.
Makes sense.
Well,
But they're safe.
Ciphering that, I'm going to look for a place to hide our stuff.
Okay. So, you put your peepers to work.
That's a 10 because we had a forward, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so that's a 10, barely.
Okay.
At first
So,
I rolled and I just saw the 2 ones. I couldn't see the third die. I was like, oh, what's it gonna be?
So I'm going to take a touch of liberty here, and Robin can feel free to correct me and rewrite as they see fit if I'm wrong. But I would imagine that Jasper's very good at hiding things and probably has a lot of places to hide things. And so you can find little areas of secret compartments and stuff to hide whatever you need.
What do I know about the other bats in this area? I know I had a conversation with the vampire bats previously.
Mm-hmm. So you know that the bats come from all over the world. So there's lots of different accents and cultures and manners of dress and everything all represented here. A lot of different viewpoints on things.
So I've got familiar characters, still assessing opponents at a glance. How do you take opponents to generally
You just went all roboto on us, Ted.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I thought it might just be my end.
He entered the Matrix.
I'm sorry about that. Still familiar characters, still assessing opponents at a glance. Well, is get a negative or forward.
I think he said he has a negative and a forward or something like that.
We can't hear you very well. I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened to your audio.
Yeah, I haven't changed anything.
Yeah, I don't know
it's
if
weird.
maybe you hit something, if it's on your headphones.
Well, you definitely can hide your stuff though.
All right. Can you hear me? Is that
Yes,
any better?
that's great.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I don't know what happened, but whatever. So basically, I want to know if these bats are they drinkers? Are they not drinkers? Because if we've got 2 casks of whatever, we could offer one to them to be like, look, you didn't see us. Have this.
So you know that the bats, much like all the other animals, there's a whole spectrum of individuals and viewpoints on prohibition. There are some that think it's stupid and attend the speakeasies. There are some who readily embrace it. Some who think it's morally right. And some who don't care, but they don't really want to break the law and mess with that trouble. So there's a whole spectrum here. There are bats who are members of the Fuzz. So
Well,
it's just...
I mean of the people who are present. That's the most important part.
The people who are present, you can ascertain that most of the bats have gone out for the night because they want to eat. So this place is fairly empty, actually.
Okay, then never mind. I went through all of that.
No, you're good. But you would know that that would be a totally viable means of bribing a bat if they were not if they were not for prohibition or a member of the Fuzz. So you guys get your stuff hidden, and you know that Jasper is safe.
All right, so I guess we head to Carlo Ambino's place to go get a drink with Pinch and Mina.
Okay.
Well, guys, I think I'll meet you there. I gotta make a quick pit stop.
Sure.
I need to drop something off over at Zookeeper. I need to drop something off over at Al Capone's place.
Okay. All right. So you can absolutely do that. That's easy enough to do. You find yourself at the aviary then. You guys know that Carl has separated from you. Are you just letting him go on his own? Are you following clandestinely? Are you asking to come with? What do you want?
He's been doing a lot on his own, and I'm willing to give it to him.
Okay.
Yeah, same.
Okay. So, Carl, go to the aviary. The aviary is this really fancy, ornate place, if you remember our description from the end of session 1. It has hanging cages from thick chains, and there's an entire scaffolding complex above the main pathways. There's water features, statuary, a makeshift forest inside. Al Capone's office is in one of these hanging cages. And so you can access it via the scaffolding, but you actually find that you have to have one of Al Capone's many large bird friends hoist you into the office proper. And so this pair of red-tailed falcons will grasp hold of you and flit you in the door. And you see...
Wash the suit, will ya? Come on.
And the chair behind the desk sort of smoothly and a little bit intimidatingly turns to reveal a white owl with red eyes and a fedora just looking directly at you. Full suit, blue tie, vest. What can I do for you?
Man, the question is, what can I do as I pull out the bottle of the moonshine for you?
Oh, Carl, I am so glad you didn't disappoint. It would have been a tragedy had you come to me empty-handed. Yet now I see. You are indeed as reliable as Jim told me you were. And you do see that sort of from behind a bookcase, Jungle Jim Bananas, the head of the Bananas Racket, which you are a part of, steps out. He's wearing a similar red suit. It's sort of his signature, and he expects all of you to wear it as well. I told you he'd do good. Yes. Both of you have done very well for me, and I appreciate that tremendously. I take it that you've also acquired the recipe.
Oh, as I go through the other pockets in my suit vest, like, right here, boss.
Thank you. And she takes it and unfurls it and starts reading, and she's like, this is not complete. Did you find the completed recipe?
Well, I have an idea where it can be at. Just wanted to make a safe deposit before I go get the other pieces.
I see, and where might your lead be, if I might ask?
Some, very, very interesting people, like Lynx to be exact.
A lynx, you say?
Indeed.
They are very big, but not unmanageable. We could take care of them relatively easily.
Of course. But, want to try make it a little quieter and whatnot. Certain things to be done with discretion.
I see. You are very discreet, and that is a thing I appreciate about you very tremendously. But I must ask, do you think you are able to handle a lynx on your own? They are very large, and you are not exactly proven in that area quite yet. You've only taken smaller jobs for me.
Well, you remember those compatriots I was speaking about?
Oh, yes. The ones the ones that you mentioned were going on the mission with you.
Mm-hmm.
We did have some very good results when Jim visited the Flying Fox, and we saw him, her, them around later on. So it confirmed that At least the dose that we seem to have acquired must be good. And apparently they partook.
Absolutely, they come from good, healthy stock. I think, you know, a few more jobs here and there, do what needs to be done, you know?
Makes sense, yes. That also means that our mouse friend was successful in supplementing the recipe that he had.
Let's give a quiet nod. Well, I need to be making my way back just to, you know, see about this other piece of paper, but, you know, hope you don't mind me just dashing off.
Oh, of course. And actually, if you like, I can send your boss with you to ensure that you have the backup you need to take care of this lynx properly.
I wouldn't want to trouble the boss or something like that.
Start spitting.
Yeah. I don't know. I can use intimidation, man, but I don't know if, like...
You could go for it. If you're trying to prove that you are big and bad enough to deal with it on your own.
7, 8, 9. So 9 with double 5s.
9 with double 5s. Okay. So that is a success with consequence.
So
you get a -1 forward and you give a +1 forward.
I will give it to Ted. He really needs it.
I'm going to give you a choice on this consequence. Either she is going to trust you and expect you to bring proof that you took care of the lynx in the way that she's implying, or she can send Jim with you, but at a distance.
I'll get the proof.
Okay. All right. So
before I head completely out, I inquire. You know, I just very coyly put out there, hearing everything that I heard about everything. Jade sings beautifully. You should have heard her last night.
I'm sorry, what?
Jade sings beautifully. She was singing beautifully last night. Just throwing that out there, seeing if anyone reacts.
Oh, was she?
Like an angel. A baddie angel, but you know. Performances are great.
So she didn't go on this mission to help you acquire this, then?
Oh, no, she did. She did.
How did she find time to sing as well?
You know how those bats are. They're always silently screaming.
I see. Well, that is fair, and they are flyers. And we all know how fast flyers can be.
You gotta get to one end to the other, you know.
But, perhaps next time you can bring your friends around. And I can introduce myself properly and explain about how I have become their patron.
I just give a gentle, you know, bow.
You are much more trustworthy even than your boss let on. And I am very, very, very pleased to have found this out. And she extends a jeweled talon.
I kiss the jewel.
And she withdraws it very ceremoniously and says, "Oh, and for your troubles." And she lifts a bag from behind her desk and tosses it your way.
Pick it up.
Inside you find a smaller pouch of peanuts. You also find a flask with some very fine peanut rum. And you find a knife, a straight razor. But it has carvings on the handle. Carvings that you, having memorized that circle, recognize from the circle.
Okay.
For the purposes of this particular game, because I like magic items in RPGs and stuff, this knife can actually cut and hurt someone who has partaken of blood moonshine.
Wow.
And they won't just recover from it.
Okay. It's a damn shame I'm gonna be dipping off.
You'll be back.
You will be back. And with that, she will dismiss you, and the falcons sort of perch on either shoulder and fly you out of the office and back to the scaffolding.
Right.
Do you go to meet everybody?
I make my way as I normally would.
Okay. You make your way to the speakeasy. And I think that as you come to the speakeasy, it's really quite strange. Because everyone's standing outside the speakeasy and it seems like it never opened. Mina's there. Pinch is there. And Flick, you and Alejandro have also found the speakeasy has not opened. The blind pig has not opened. It's a massive brick building that's located actually in this maintenance shed of Safari So Good, which is the African safari exhibit. And inside the speakeasy, there is like a boiler that hides a brewer so that they have their own alcohol and everything. It's quite nice. It's very lucrative. And for them to be closed for even a small amount of time is going to hurt their business a lot.
This is odd.
So I turned to Mina and Pinch. Well, promised you a drink, and I'll pull out my flask and offer it to them.
All right. Mina will take a swig just without even second guessing. And then Pinch will just sort of like, I'm good. I'm good.
So we've I know there are other places here in the zoo if you're up for a stroll, but if you had your heart set on this place, well then kind of SOL at the moment.
Well, I wouldn't entirely say that. I mean, there's ways to go places we want to go.
Everyone can put their peepers to work if they want.
Yeah, I'm kind of confused. Like, it doesn't make sense, so I'm kind of like look on the lookout and kind of want to know what's going on. Well,
Guessing it's closed for a private engagement.
Yeah, I got a 9.
I got a 6.
9. A 6. Okay.
I have a 6 with doubles.
Okay. You have a 6 with
man.
doubles. Oh.
Yeah.
So failure, you get 1 XP and you get a -1 forward.
Yay.
And Carl got a 9, you said?
Yep.
No doubles?
No doubles.
Okay. So you have success with consequence. We'll say that your
Right next
success
case was drugged up.
lets you you smell that that coppery smell that is very familiar, and it smells like there's rot too. And you see, just as the crowd starts dispersing, people mumbling about the fact that they're not open, what a shame, blah, 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 whatever. You
Nice.
notice what looks like just a trickle of red from under the door.
Guys, I don't think we're alone. I don't. It doesn't seem right. Remember that ooze thing or whatever? Smells something like that.
And now the two of you can smell it. You smell the strong and very, very pungent scent of death coming from within the speakeasy, even though the door's locked.
You know what?
Rather
Is there like
peculiar.
windows up high or something like that?
There are.
Hey, want to give me a boost? There, Carl.
Yeet. I will help out. I mean, is that going to be the same as the last one, a bop or whatever? Or
Yeah.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Yep, that's easy to do. So you manage to get him, you're all the way up on the window, and you can peer inside. You see a sight that causes you to flash back to that wall that you saw with the newspaper articles when you first woke up down in that underground area, except instead of chimpanzees torn limb from limb around a fountain, you see a variety of animals, all servers, torn limb from limb, blood splatters all over the place on the walls in here. The blind pig itself has a giant hearth, sort of like as the focal point, and there's normally a portrait of a blindfolded, tastefully nude pig, sort of like kinky style on the mantle. But resting on the mantle right now, in front of that portrait, is a warthog tied up with an apple in his mouth and blood everywhere. His entire sides just ripped away to reveal the rib cage. Carlo Hambino is dead. And that is where we are going to leave tonight.
Of course it is. Of course it is. Well, thank you for running, Steven. Awesome session as always. You are an awesome GM and zookeeper. Thank you, everyone, for checking it out. In the description, find a link to these awesome folks as well as that Kickstarter. Come back and get your own copy of Zoo Mafia. Don't forget the dice, and make sure you have enough for your friends as well. With that, until next time, stay nerdy.
Stay nerdy.
Stay nerdy.
All right, we are out.